Hi guys, and a very warm welcome to Glory Week, a brand new series that we're bringing to you in conjunction with the city of Fremantle, hence the fact that we are outside one of Freo's most loved landmarks and popular tourist attractions, Fremantle Prison. I'm joined today by Ollie. Great to see you, Ollie. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Now you might be wondering why I've brought you to Fremantle Prison. As I mentioned, it's the city of Fremantle tie-up really, but also because I know that you're a man who enjoys a historic tale, and this place has absolutely hundreds of them. Construction finished in around about the 1850s, and then the prison actually closed as late as 1991, which came as a bit of a surprise. And thoroughly recommend it, mate. All sorts of different tours that you can do. There's a nighttime one as well if you're into things supernatural. Plenty to do. And before we get on to yourself, I'll just tell you one of these quick stories. I think you'll enjoy this one. It's about a guy called Moondyne Joe. Now, Moondyne Joe, he was a Welshman, which obviously endears him to me to start with. He was arrested in Chepstow for stealing bread, butter and bacon. Now, he was in line to get a fairly moderate sentence, but apparently he irritated the judge so much, so he gets sent here. Obviously not happy with that. He escaped no fewer than 5 times, Ollie.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, the final time that he got sent back inside, he was convicted for killing an ox. He got 10 years for killing an ox, and I know we're laughing about it, but I would like to say categorically that both myself and Ollie, we are very much against violence against oxen, I think it is, yeah. We are definitely not in favour. We're not advocating violence against oxen. So that is the story of Moondyne Joe, and we do thoroughly recommend dropping into Fremantle Prison. Let's get on to yourself. Joined the club in the off-season from Wellington Phoenix. You formed a good goalkeeping unit with the 2 Cook boys, a glove triangle, if you will. How's that all working out for you?
It's great. We've got a great balance. Obviously, in terms of the goalkeeping department, it's quite young, myself included in that. You know, there tends to be a bit of age and experience in the goalkeeping department, but we like it. There's a great energy, and yeah, everyone's just picking each other's brains, and everyone's adding their own little flavours to the session and to how we learn and grow together. So far, I'm having good fun.
And away from the games and training, Ollie, how have you settled into life in Perth? You're living in a beachside suburb. I know you're just getting yourself in the ocean most days. Are you settled in okay?
Correct. Oh, I love it here. It's beautiful. You know, the west coast here is gorgeous. I swim almost every morning before training, and then I'm down at the beach swimming in the afternoons as well. So I'm certainly making the most of the beautiful weather here and what the coast has to offer. So I'd say I'm settling in pretty well.
Now, in terms of your own personal life, you're from quite a big family, plenty of brothers involved. Can you just give us a little snapshot of the Sale household growing up? I'm sort of picturing football boots and boxing gloves and cricket bats and stuff just cast all over the shop. Is that what it was like?
That's exactly what it is like. It's manic at times, very much like a zoo at feeding time as well, at dinner. But no, it was brilliant. I don't think I could ask for a better upbringing, to be honest. Played every single sport, like you just touched on, everything you can think of. Football was actually in our family is not very popular. I'm probably the lone wolf that's pursued football, or even really taken much of an interest in football, to be honest. So much to the point where my mum was my first coach, because no one really was that interested in where I grew up. Everyone wanted to play rugby and cricket and everything else, and you know, so. Yeah, that was my introduction to footy, but in terms of growing up, it was just so much fun. We played everything and did everything, and very outdoorsy people. Never owned a PlayStation or an Xbox or anything like that. It was just all sports all the time. So.
Now, you mentioned one of those sports is golf. The word in the group is that you're quite handy on the golf course, but you sort of try and keep that on the down low. Is that true? Are you cheating on the handicap a little bit?
No, I like keeping it down low so that I can take the boys' money when we go and play. But no, yeah, I do enjoy my golf, and I am relatively handy, and it's something that over the last few years I've picked up more and more, and it's a real escape for me from footy. It's a nice thing to do to distract myself and have fun, and also it's a great way of doing some active recovery as well. Getting out there, getting the legs moving and stuff like that the day after a game, and making the most of the beautiful weather here. So
there is a bit of gym cricket that goes on. Dave Williams was telling me that a game broke out the other day, but you weren't involved, I don't think. I think you missed it.
Yeah, I wasn't involved. I don't know what happened there. I stumbled across the very end of that and was disappointed I wasn't involved, that's for sure. But yeah, I come from a a family that's passionate about cricket. Dad was a professional coach. But yeah, definitely going to be involved in some gym cricket going forward, and no doubt as we travel around the hotels, some backyard cricket and hallway cricket and all sorts. So.
Now, I don't want to lapse into stereotypes, but looking at you, I'm thinking pace bowler.
I was towards the end, yeah, but I grew very late, so I was always actually a top order batsman my whole life. But I did end up bowling some heat towards the end of my cricketing career, much to Mum's despair. She wasn't a fan of what I was putting my back through, but no, but I did enjoy. Yeah, bowling some pace.
I just wanted to touch on something else. This is something we've spoken to Milo about, getting back to football now after that tour of all the other sports that you're interested in. The goalkeeper's bag, obviously a staple in the sort of late 70s, early 80s. Milo's confessed he had several goalkeeper's bags. He never really told us what was in them, but he said he had a goalkeeper bag. Any chance you could bring it back?
I don't know. I mean, I like to have the responsibility of all my stuff turning up where I'm going put on someone else, like Rusty and Lambo, so that then if I forget something, I can, or if it's not there, there's no blame on me. So I might have to take some responsibility back and bring the bag back. But yeah, I think it's more possible. Maybe I can borrow one of Milo's old ones and
I'm thinking
swing them back into fashion.
Sort of marketing opportunity. We could have sort of the sail home and then sail away, and then linking it to the cricket. I have given this some thought, by the way. With the way New Zealand went sort of 80s retro with the one-day outfits, the kind of brown and cream, the beige, exactly the beige. I was thinking maybe we could go for a sail goalkeeping bag, sort of beige, brown kind of vibe.
Yeah, a bit retro. I could get behind that. Yeah,
there
absolutely.
we go. So if there are any companies out there that are interested in that, well, I'll only take 20%. Okay, it was a great cut. But let's move on to your tattoos, mate. Some of them are proudly on display at the moment, including, fantastically for Glory fans, I don't know if we can zoom in on that Ivo, 1996.
I have heard this.
It's almost as if you knew you were coming.
I know, I must have.
Which is great.
We spoke it into fruition.
We did indeed. So when did you start getting the ink done? How old were you?
Well, my older brothers have tattoos, and albeit small ones, but they have tattoos, and I always wanted some growing up, but Mum always said, not while you live under my roof. So what I do when as soon as I moved out at the age of 17, 18, whatever it was straight to the tattoo parlour and got the ribs done. So yeah, that's how it started. With a script on the ribs that is significant, a piece of script that's significant to all of my brothers. We all have this rendition of a similar piece of script.
That's nice.
And then everything else is pretty much as you see it. I love my Greek mythology, so I have Atlas, I have Zeus, and then I have lots of time pieces and quotes to do with time and stuff like that. And then the rest is all just for show, really, to be honest. As my parents don't approve much of them, but it's just artwork, and it's just how I guess express myself in some ways. But
absolutely.
Yeah, it's certainly a passion of mine, and I'm sure maybe this time next year when I'm back for my second season, there'll be more.
Looking
additions.
to add, for some additions.
I think so.
Right, okay, we won't tell Mrs. Sale.
No, exactly, we'll keep that between us.
When she comes over, I think we need to do an interview with Mrs. Sale. I think she's got a story to tell.
I'm sure
I think we're only getting your end of it at the moment. I think that could be quite entertaining. But right, mate, just a couple of final ones, if you don't mind. We're going back to Wellington this weekend. Big game for the club and a massive game for you personally. The Yellow Fever have a certain reputation. They like to dish out a bit of stick. What sort of reception do you think you're going to get from them?
I think it'll be pretty frosty. I mean, I was there for a long time, and obviously I think I was well respected as a senior player by the time I left, and obviously a captain in the end as well. So.
And Tenya, Sale again gets the spinnaker out.
There'll be mutual respect, definitely, but I would expect them to be giving me some stick and getting stuck in. I mean, I'm playing on the other side of the long distance derby, so it's something that they're going to want to make the most of, and no doubt they'll be there in full voice. And I'm really looking forward to being on the other side of the ledger. I've been relatively successful in the long distance derby while on the Wellington side of the ledger, so now I'm looking to swing that round and shift the momentum to our side. So. I'm really excited. It's a big game for us, obviously, and to get that trip, take 3 points from arguably the hardest away trip, well, in the world, but in this league certainly, is a big step and a big statement. So we're looking to make that this weekend.
I wasn't going to mention your record in the distance derby, which is actually very good. But as you've mentioned it, I think if we can charge you with a task now, the distance derby trophy has disappeared into the depths of Wellington. It went over there and it never came back. Now, I think if we are victorious, I would like to charge you, Ollie Sale, with bringing that back personally. And we need photographs that we can post on social.
Okay.
So that is your task, should you choose to accept
I'll get after it.
for the weekend.
I'll get after it. First job, win it. Second job, find it.
Absolutely right. And just with the yellow fever, when you come out onto the pitch, would you applaud them? Do you sort of gauge to see if there's a bit of booing and just try and take the temperature there or then, or are you going to do what you're going to do regardless?
I think my family's gonna ensure that it's not exactly the warmest welcome, because I've got a whole bunch of Perth Glory kits for them to wear. So I'll be dishing those out before the game in Wellington this weekend, and they'll be turning up in purple. So that'll ruffle a few feathers as it is. So yeah, I imagine it'll go straight from the get-go when we're walking out. But I'm sure there'll be some familiar faces that'll at least be able to share a smile and a wave, no doubt. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm an away team player now, so I'm expecting a hostile welcome.
Thanks very much, Ollie. I've got a couple of bits of news. So we are talking about a 12:30 kickoff WA time for that game against Wellington on Saturday. You can catch all the action on Paramount. We'll be live tweeting as well and giving you as much coverage as we possibly can on the usual Glory social platforms. No game for our A-League women this weekend due to the international break, but Alex Epakis' table toppers will return to action on Saturday the 4th of November when they make the trip to Canberra. Unbelievably, we have never won at Canberra during the W League or A-League women, so it is really time to correct that slight historical quirk and get the 3 points. And that historical quirk brings me very nicely back to round off by just mentioning again Fremantle Prison here, one of the City of Fremantle's most spectacular attractions. Thoroughly recommend that you come down. Ollie's already said that he's doing the tunnel tours later this week, and yeah, we'll find out how he gets on. And that's it from Glory Week for this week.